I went out with XCloud. The first date went reasonably well, so I decided to try a second date, and it was terrible. Stay with me. So connected to Gigabyte Wi-Fi network, here I am trying to play Sea of Thieves. I'm going to leave the music on so you can hear what's going on. I'm in the game, no picture whatsoever. I've got controls. You can see me pressing them on the screen frantically, and I can hear things happening in the game, but there is no game for me to see. It just simply stayed in this black screen, and I heard some water. I heard some music. I decided to get the hell out of there. Go back into the games that were optimized for touch. The next game we're going to try, let's go through here. Let's try Ukulele. Let's see how that does, a platformer. So here we go, launching it. I'm going to let this go in real time so you can see how long the load time is. This was not a great experience again, and I'm not connected to a cellular network, the 5G network. I'm connected to a Wi-Fi network that gets 600 down wirelessly, folks. Not wired, wirelessly. Wired, I'm getting a gig. So I am at the extreme end of the experience that people have throughout the country. I'm at the top end. So here we go. Launching Ukulele. You can see down at the bottom right the game loading. We're going to get in here. And again, I'm noticing once we get in here, I'll show you just some really slow, laggy controls. Not a great experience. Some slowdown. Again, taking quite a while to load in to a previously saved game that I had. That's a nice feature. All your save files are right there. You would expect that to happen. Now, my first experience with XCloud, I did a video and it was pretty good. This experience leaves a lot to be desired. And clearly, the idea that Microsoft and XCloud are somehow immune to the problems that everyone else was, like Stadia, is not an accurate representation of what's going on here. Still waiting for the game to load. It's a magical experience. Watching that loading icon continue to move continually. Time passing by. Waiting. Ukulele. Trying the Xbox guide button. Sometimes it'll open up, sometimes it won't. So clearly they're having some issues now. And I get it, it's in beta. I understand it's a beta and they're testing it. But the idea that this is a flawless experience, even when it's out of beta, I believe these problems will still exist. So here we go into the game finally. And I'm going to move forward, backwards, left and right. You can see the slowdown is absolutely it's horrible. And then eventually it starts to pick up a bit. But again, there's a delay in the button pressing and the jumping. There's no way to actually play this. You need precise control in a platformer. There cannot be any input lag whatsoever if you're going to make these jumps and you're going to combat. You're going to have combat in this game. Everything needs to be precise. So clearly, this is not the experience that you would want for any of your games. The native experience on the console will never be replaced, especially by something like this. So what we'll do last is we will try a walking simulator, because those are the least graphically intensive. It's just forwards, backwards, left, right, and look around. Maybe light interaction, one or two buttons. I mean, you can barely make out the text here if you're playing it on a small screen, and the biggest phone is still the smallest screen. These games were not made for those screens. So let's try Edith Finch. We'll launch it in real time, and we'll wait. Now, I did have a much better experience the very first time I tried XCloud. I actually switched from the Wi-Fi network to 5G while playing the game. Check that video out if you want to see the best case scenario for when things work well with XCloud. I didn't think it would be fair, though, not to represent this in a clear and factual way. So that's why I'm doing this follow-up video. Here we go, launching into Edith Finch. And I'm going to be quiet here because this is the experience. This is the audio that you can expect when things aren't working well and you're streaming a video game. So let's let it load in. By the way, this is a great game. I did play it and finished it on the Xbox and the PlayStation. I loved it. And we're waiting for that load to happen. Yes, I just said that in a sentence. Still waiting. Once the game begins, I move around a bit. I notice some slowdown, some input latency, and then the audio quality. I'll be quiet and let you listen to it as I walk down here and go forward. You can see the slowdown, the input lag, and listen to this.
Lucas' room smelled very, very familiar. That part of it went down.
So yeah, I mean, this was a terrible experience. Everything that I tried didn't work. It was not a fun experience, and it was one that reminded me of how I feel about streaming. It is the worst way to play a developer's game. So we clearly aren't even close to being there yet. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, think about sharing out, and I will see you in the next video.